Hi, so this is, again, the student example that we referenced in the past. You've already looked at the video by Mr. Soto, and you've already read the short story and wrote numerous notes, and this is an example of the final draft of your goal, but you're still in the process. So let's just take a look here. The Shame of Desire is Monica's title. The title typically has something to do with the theme that you're planning on proving. And then, of course, the subtitle, which is the name of the assignment. And you can use that very same one if you'd like, since it is the name of this assignment. And let's take a look at the intro paragraph, very similar to the parallel analysis paragraph. Dick Gregory's short story Shame is about his life as a child. Now we're going into a little bit of a mini plot. He did not have a father and was so poor he ate paste because he was hungry and needed to share a bed with his siblings. So that's just a little bit that, pretend again that I've not read this, I don't know what you're talking about. Richard's the protagonist, poverty is his antagonist, while his motivation is to be loved. The setting takes place in several places, including his classroom, a diner, and the street on which he lives. In this short story, one of the main ideas is that the desire is blind. Desire is defined as to wish or long for, crave, want. And then this is here. It's going to reference a works cited page that's going to be at the end of this paper. Blind is defined as to not see. This is going to be referenced on the last page, the works cited page. In Dick Gregory's autobiographical short story, Shame, we see illustrated the dominant literary theme, desire is blind. So you're telling me, the reader, that you're going to prove that desire is blind is the theme in this short story. So what I'd like to do right now is stop and start again. This is available to you in the learning module. It's also available to you on the other side in the writing do's and don'ts section of our class. This is a fill-in-the-blank analysis form for the intro paragraph for a theme analysis. Very similar again to the parallel analysis, except when you get down to the end, just as I bolded everything in Monica's paper that's new to the intro paragraph in this assignment, I've also bolded all of this. So all of this is new to you. Again, this is just to indicate to you that that's what that is. So please make sure that you fill this out before you even take a pencil and put it to paper. Make sure you fill this out first. Okay, so the body paragraph follows a very specific format. And so this is just an example. Let me just read this to you, and then I'll show you where there are actual fill-in-the-blank forms available to you. There's also a rubric available to you to make sure that you've put everything in order. In the short story Shame, we see the theme blind desire through Richard's ignorance about money. For example, in his story, Richard, a poor 7-year-old black boy, craves the attention of a girl in his class, Helene Tucker. He tells us, quote, I'd drop money on her stoop late at night on my way back from shining shoes in the taverns. In this passage, Richard desires Helene Tucker enough to pay for her attention. When we read that he would, quote, drop money on her stoop late at night, we see that Richard believes he can pay his way into her love even though he cannot afford the necessities for himself. In other words, Richard is willing to give Helene all he has. Late at night represents that Richard's desire is blind because nighttime is dark, therefore represents blindness and the unknown. Richard is hiding from the truth that he cannot buy affection or attention. So that's the body paragraph. And now I'm moving straight on down, don't be freaking out, to the works cited page. The works cited page refers to any source from which you got information and put it in your paper. So of course the short story will always be there, and you always have the last name of the author, comma, first name, period, space, and with a short story you put the title in quote marks, just as you do with the poems that you've been writing about, period. Gibbs Magazine, you're going to underline, that's the source, that's where I got the information, and it's also in your packet on the last page of Shame. 20 August 2007 is the date that it was published on Gibbs Magazine. I got it from the web on the 9th of January 2008. That's works cited. So what that is that's you telling me, Roxanne, all the information that I got from Dick Gregory's short story that I used, I got from this source. And anytime you see the last name Gregory, Roxanne, with a number after it, it lets you know that the information came from Dick Gregory's short story and whatever page it was on. As far as definitions go, I always go to dictionary.com. I find that the easiest. And you'll notice that up here, especially in the intro paragraph, when I was defining themes, desire is defined as to wish or long for, to crave or to want. Then you go down to the works cited page. There's desire. I got it from dictionary.com. That's where I got the definition, and I got it on the 10th of January 2006. The same will be said for the word blind. So when I go back up to the intro paragraph, blind is defined as to not see, and then I put blind there, and that lets you know that if you want to know where I got the definition, I got it from dictionary.com, and I got it on this date. So that works cited means that the works refer to the sources that you got all the information from. And the cited refers to the citation or the anything in parentheses. Desire, blind, Gregory, which we notice here. I dropped money on her stoop late at night on my way back from shining shoes in the taverns. Gregory 2. That means that in Dick Gregory's short story, this passage is on page 2. You'll also notice that the works cited page, you might say to yourself, well, how do I know what goes where? What you do is you take a look at the first letter of each entry, and the first letter of each entry lets you know alphabetically where it goes. So B goes first, then D, and then G. I can't say this enough, but I'm going to say it anyway. The body paragraph can be confusing unless you follow the format. There are fill-in-the-blank forms in your packet. Let's see, there's fill-in-the-blank forms attached inside of the learning module. The fill-in-the-blank forms in the packet is on page 66. On page 71 and 72 are rubrics that you will follow to make sure that you're following the format. If you follow the format, you'll be fine.